Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. My guest this morning, Dr. Jide Johnson, Chief Lecturer, NIJ. As always, Dr. Johnson, it's a pleasure to have you.
It's nice hanging out with you, Uncle Yori, always.
All right, thank you very much. And well, Anambra, very much on our mind. It's inching ever so much closer. Here we are in the month of November, and the election is coming up on the 6th of November. So TVC has a crew in there already. How safe it is to do what they usually do, which is go around, move around, interact with the people. Only those who are there for now can talk about it. But we still need to know what's going on, pending when we can get word directly from our guys up front there. And in that connection, we're delighted to have with us Dr. Nkem Okeke. Dr. Nkem Okeke is joining us via Zoom. And Dr. Okeke is Deputy Governor in Anambra State. Good morning to you, Dr. Okeke.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you very much for making time for us. Anambra is on everybody's mind, not just Anambrarians. And well, the best thing to do really is to find out from you. You are on ground. What exactly is the situation security-wise? Saw some worrying video over the weekend. And so let me just leave it at that so that I can get your assessment of the security situation in Anambra as we move towards the election.
Well, things are not as good as we'd like it to be. There were some skirmishes a couple of days ago. I know the security agencies are doing their best to make sure that any attempts by these hoodlums to do anything, that they will stop them. Of course, the federal government has said they are ready. They're sending in enough security personnel to be on ground and be patrolling the streets and make sure that people are safe and people can come out and do their civic duty, and that is to vote. INEC also says they are ready. They're ready for this election. And so we're praying that come this Saturday, people will be given the opportunity to come out and vote. The question is, the citizens themselves, are they ready? Are they willing to come out? Are they, we're praying for at least not let be any voter apathy. That's the prayer for of us who are in politics. So we'll just have to wait and see, what happens.
Okay.
That's all.
Oh, okay. Well, voter apathy is one thing, but here, one just wanted to sort of be reassured that the people themselves are sufficiently reassured by, the best efforts in Anambra, by, politicians, elders in there, and the federal government's, actions and positionings, that people will be reassured that it's safe for them to come out, because apathy is a totally different thing. And
yes,
it's so let me paraphrase.
The point I'm making.
Let me paraphrase the video I saw. Perhaps many other people saw that video. It was actually a video that had, the emblazoned, Channels TV, and it showed men in uniform confronting what looked like although we couldn't see who they were shooting at, but it looked like a reporter was embedded with the officials, with the uniformed men. That was not a child's play. So I wanted to ask you, what's the best info you have on who they were contending with?
I couldn't tell you that. I am not a member of the security agencies. I'm not quite sure what actually happened in that situation. All I know is that there was a confrontation, by the police forces with some of these hoodlums. I know that happened. But the point I'm trying to make is that you can't expect something like that to happen on election day, because you're supposed to be in your community. Nobody's supposed to be on the roads, on the streets, moving around. You're supposed to be in your place, just get up, leave your house, go to the polling station, vote, and then go back to your house. So people are not expected to be on the streets, just roaming around or going about your regular duties, like a regular day. So I don't expect that to happen. So when I say voter apathy, I'm talking about people just telling themselves, yes, I'm safe to go and vote. I'm only going 200 yards from my house to go and cast my vote and then go back to my house. Okay, that's what I'm hoping that will happen. Oh,
okay. And well, quite frankly, fair enough. Because if that's your assessment, that it can't be like that on voting day.
Yes.
Very short distances and that kind of a thing. Okay.
Correct.
The preparedness, again, shifting away from that incident, shocking as it was, the general preparedness for this for this election. What's your assessment? How satisfied are you that everything's in place? We've been told by INEC that they've crossed their T's, dotted their I's, just waiting for the day. The security people tell us the same. The politicians, who are really the center of all of this, I understand there have been meetings for them to come to an agreement of how to conduct themselves and how to help the effort. On that score, how reassured are you?
I am. I really am. Because Anambra has the election on just a single day with no other state or federal election going on, the INEC can put all their resources to the state. The security agency can put all their resources and focus everything on Anambra so that they can be spread out, they can be all nooks and crannies of the state and make sure that things are done the way they're supposed to be done. Okay. I believe that everybody's ready. It wasn't a date out of sight. A date that INEC knew that was coming, the agencies knew that was coming, the politicians knew it was coming. So for them, everybody's just geared up for this. The different parties are going around campaigning, talking to the voters, talking to the electorate, and trying to sell their manifesto. That's what's going on right now.
Okay, it's interesting you said that. It's interesting you said that, Dr. Keke, because I was going to ask how free are the politicians to go around campaigning as politicians are wont to do in the security climate in Anambra. We've heard, and we could do a lot worse than ask you. We've heard that some politicians can't even come out. What's your assessment there about the freedom of politicians to move around?
I do agree with you. I mean, I think it's there's a bit of apprehension. There must be, of course, because you don't know where you can be at the right place at the wrong time or the wrong place at the wrong time. So there is a bit of apprehension, but you still need to do what you have to do. Life must go on. And I think people are just telling themselves, let's go and do our best. Maybe you might not have the same amount of turnout. You might not have all the, politicians going out to campaign. Yes, people will decide on what they want to do to at least exercise caution so that you don't fall prey to these hoodlums. It's just unfortunate. It's a really unfortunate situation.
Because the principle of it is that the politicians go out, present their programs to the people, and especially at this very close date, those that are maybe undecided might be able to make up their mind from listening directly to people who are selling these ideas. But in a midst of apprehension, I guess we're just making do. That's why you probably started off saying that it's not all that you would have liked it to be, but we're managing.
Yes, you have to. We have to. I mean, we can't say, stop all this, rancor and let's conduct elections. They're not listening. So the best we can do is do the best you can, try and be safe, try and be cautious. Not just, just look out for yourself, look out for the people, the voters that you're trying to put out in harm's way. And do the best you can, and then we'll hope for the best. What we're trying to do is to look for the future of the citizens of the state. That's all we're trying to do. Pick a good leader to lead the Anambra to a better place.
The rancor that you spoke about, which is an odious thing in any political sort of campaign situation, is that with the prescribed IPOB, ESN, or among the politicians themselves, or is there rancor all over the place?
There's rancor all over the place. I can't sit here and tell you that, yes, this is just IPOB, ESN, or politicians. I don't really know. I'm not quite sure if anybody really knows what's going on. When you have this type of situations come up, people trying to use, in the name of IPOB, ESN, commit their own crimes. And I believe such things do take place. But that's the situation we find ourselves in, and we must figure out, there must be a long-term solution to this. Yeah. Yes, let's say have election on Saturday and get it over with, and then maybe get our new, the new governor and deputy. But the point is, there must be a way, there must be a solution to this problem. I'm not sure I have the answers. We must sit down and discuss, and hopefully come up with a lasting solution to this. We can't continue with this violence. It doesn't help anybody. Doesn't make life better for the people. People can't go about their business, be able to make a living, feed their family, just do what they need to do to survive. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it.
Okay. Well, finally, Dr. Okeke, you said that the citizens of Anambra and all of us in our different situations have to just get on with it and do what we need to do. And,
yes.
in spite of the situation. Are you yourself, are you going to be campaigning out there to just show that, nobody can intimidate us? At least a few days left.
I've tried to do my best. Yesterday I went to my town, I went to my village to talk to my people. I haven't really had much time to do a lot of campaigning. Of course, what had happened in the past, when I moved to a new party. So it hasn't been easy, and I have security men with me who are also not quite eager to be out there because they know how these things happen and they're the targets. So I have to be careful not to put them in harm's way because yes, I might be sitting in a bulletproof car doesn't mean they're sitting in one.
Are you saying, Dr. Okeke, that you fear for your personal safety as a result of your political decision?
Not my personal safety. Not my personal safety. No, not mine.
Okay.
Not mine. But the people that protect me.
Oh, okay.
The people that protect me. Yes.
Okay.
And they're human beings. They have families. I need to worry about them. So I have to be careful where I go. I have to be careful, areas I'm around in, because it's frightening.
Yeah, is that the situation with all politicians, sir? Sorry to interrupt you. Would that be the situation with all politicians, or because of you in your particular circumstance?
Yes, I'm the deputy governor right now, and I moved. I switched from my party to another party, and that's a problem for some people. It could be a problem for some people, and I don't know.
But so not for you. It's not one for you.
Yes.
It's not a problem for you.
Yes, it's not a problem for me. I've made a choice and I've moved. But there are people who are protecting me, and I need to worry about them. If I think I can add any value being out there, then I will go out. If I think I can add value just staying back, I can't do much by going out there, then I stay back.
Okay.
I have to be careful. I have to be watchful of what I'm doing.
Well, I want to thank you, Dr. Nkem Okeke, because what has come, it looks like your lights there. It looks like the lights went out, but I wanted to thank you for making time for us this morning. Thank you very much, Dr. Nkem Okeke, Deputy Governor in Anambra State. Oh, okay. I understand that you're. Oh, okay. We saw the light go off, and we were a bit concerned that So no. It was just I should have told you to put the generator before I started this interview. Okay, then. I didn't realize that. Really? Yes. You had said that you are not concerned for your personal safety, but there are other people who, so to speak, might be taking Panadol for another person's headache. You don't have a problem. Exactly. You don't have a problem, is what you're saying. And but yes, it might not be this case with other people. And correct. You also said to us that, well, that probably explains why you haven't had all the time you would like to be out there setting an example and campaigning, correct, across the state. Well, as I was saying, thank you very much, Dr. Okeke. Thank you. Appreciate you for joining us. Okay, interesting scenario there, Dr. Johnson. When as soon as we can link up with our men, because we do have a team, I think we have a team up there, as we always do with all these elections. Election. Yes, every election. Ayo Zubako and colleagues, they're up there as soon as we can get to them. But what do you make of the security situation, bearing in mind what we're reading in the press, the videos that we're seeing, and Dr. Okeke now? Well,
the submission of the Deputy Governor captures the situation of things in Anambra State. And what is happening in Anambra State, and especially in the southeast, it's a failure of leadership at every level. Failure of leadership. We've discussed, I think the last time I was on set, it was this Anambra issue that we discussed.
That's right. Stuck with us for a while.
It's a failure of leadership at every level. The the political leadership, the traditional leadership, and the religious leadership. The Southeasterners, they go to church regularly on Sundays. They are either of the Catholic extraction or the Anglican extraction. And if you see the headlines of the papers today, where some of the bishops and the rest of it, exactly, and they are just coming now to talk about this issue. There's a particular thing in my local dialect. Agbakinwa loja, Kuriomo tutuwo. You know, you can't have elders in the market, and you have youth misbehaving in the marketplace. So it's failure. You could see if the deputy governor could not go out fearing for the safety of the people around him to campaign based on his political conviction.
Yes.
Based on his, because everybody should be able to live freely based on their political conviction. Then it tells you the situation of things in the Southeast. That's on the part of the failure of the leadership. On the part of the security agencies, you begin to ask questions. How did we get to where we are now? What were the security agencies doing before now? Because you look at the budgets of governors year in, year out. I don't want to use the budget of Cross River State, how the governor of Cross River State used to tag the budget. But year in, year out, governors budget money for security. And we have seen failure from the state level, local government, even federal government, based on federal establishment. So what level of intelligence have we gathered? Beyond the exchanges of fire, how many people have been arrested?
You know the word intelligence that you use there. I was wondering, just looking at that, troublesome, troubling video, that wait a minute, how did it come to this firefight? Because the army put out a statement as well to accompany maybe those pictures. How did it come to this firefight? What was the role of intelligence? Wouldn't they have known? Because it's a joint team, police, army, and all the other sister security agencies. Couldn't they have known that that event was going to happen and be neutralized before it had a chance to happen?
Uncle Yori,
so the problem of quality of intelligence that we get.
You begin to wonder what is going on. You see what characterized Imo prior to Anambra. All of these crises we are witnessing in Anambra, the one in Imo, no prosecution has been made. No example has been made of people that have perpetrated crime against the state and against humanity. Nothing has been done with respect to that. And you see, like the deputy governor said, it is the political class. And I've said it over time, it's only Nigerians that are fools that will kill themselves or will offer themselves to be used as guinea pig for Nigerian politicians. If you look at the characters and players of this political landscape, who will ever believe that Ngige and Andy Uba will be in the same party? Who will ever believe that Soludo and the present governor of Anambra State will be in the same party? It's just their selfish. They don't care. No, they don't care about you and I. As long as they can have access to power, how would the governor justify being the chief security of the state, and you can't secure the life and property of the people in your state?
Well, people will say to you that, well, that's just nomenclature. He's the chief security officer, that he is not really.
Well, what justification does he have for spending the vote?
Well.
What justification does he have for spending the vote?
Which is not accounted for.
Which is not accounted for, which is not audited. So it's clear that the crises we are witnessing are perpetuated by the political class.
No, Dr. Nkem.
No, it's there. It's perpetuated by the political class.
He said he was not going to limit the comments to just.
He said that people use those names to perpetrate their political agenda. And don't forget that we are coming from Anambra State, where we have a history of where a sitting governor was kidnapped. And those that kidnapped the sitting governor then are in the same camp with the governor that they kidnapped. Are you with me? So the more you look at it, the Nigerian political landscape, the more abracadabrish it becomes. It becomes magic, like you are watching magic. And if you are not careful, if you pay too much attention to Nigerian political landscape, you might lose your sanity.
Yeah, but how are the people of Anambra now in this kind of a situation where you don't have the ability to campaign as far and wide as you would want to? How would they know now exactly whose policies or programs they are interested in supporting?
Those that perpetuate violence know what they want to achieve. They want to achieve voters' apathy. And once they achieve voters' apathy, they can achieve their goal. Are you getting my point?
I understand what you're saying, sir. But the word apathy there is worrying me.
Yeah,
I said because maybe it's fear, because it's terrorism. It's nothing else. Terrorism.
If you use
they are trying
fear
to terrorize the people, so that they won't come out.
Yes. Once you see what by nature and by design, our democratic experience, our electoral process, instill fear in people first. Now, with what is going on now, it is triple fear. So everybody will just want to play safe. If the deputy governor is saying that I don't want to go out, I'd rather stay indoor to feel safe. Who am I that don't have police orderly that's not deputy governor? So
and he even said that he was afraid for his security
for his security agents, for his security. So it's clear. But my appeal to people in Anambra State is for them to go out and vote, and for for the bishops that have come out and the leaders that have come out to talk about providing conditions for peace in Igbo land. Where were they?
They're listing conditions for peace in Igbo land. I don't know that has anything to do with the Saturday election. Maybe they're talking about in the medium term. But we need a solution like today.
What role did they play in the past to ensure that we don't get to the state of precipice that we have found ourselves? To the point that we are seeing chaos and state of anarchy happening in Anambra State. We are just talking about Anambra State. And we moved from Imo State, whereby they've set police station ablaze, whereby nothing has been done to arrest that situation. What has brought Anambra into the front burner is because of the election happening in November 6. Now, what are the elders, the political class, the religious leaders, the traditional rulers doing to curtail the outbreak of violence in the southeast?
It looks like, if I were to go by the President General, I believe the office is properly called, of Ohaneze Ndigbo, a statement, he was reacting to a statement like this and said that, look, he did it again, that, look, we have spoken, we have reached out to them, we have tried to talk to them. Quite frankly, they're not listening. Therefore, I would suggest that maybe the elders, the elders are now, they've lost control. They've lost control, that moral, traditional control elders have over the youth, or influence, if not control. The influence, that whole tradition has been thrown out the window. So, because the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo said, they're not listening. They're not listening.
These issues that we have faced it in the Southwest. When Odua People's Congress went rogue, and the elders spoke, and the leaders spoke. And that's why you see, the gist of my argument in the East has always been this, is the failure of leadership. And I've identified different types of leadership. Why are they not listening? Why are they not listening? Why have the elders lost their influence on the younger generation in the Southeast?
Well, that's probably a question they themselves.
They can answer, because the bottom line is, when you keep quiet and watch events to unfold, and you don't need it, you don't nip it in the bud, this is what you have. You see, there's a saying in my local dialect, now, you can't cut an oak tree, an oak tree. Once it's old, it's very difficult for you. If you really want to trim it,
it has to be when it's young, supple.
So when this issue was first trimmed, before it germinated to become a Frankenstein monster, because if there is no peace in the land, bishop can't go to church, the monarchy can't be traditional rulers of anybody, and the political class can't have control. A situation whereby you say people should not go to the market.
Okay, one moment, please, Dr. Johnson. I've got to go on a commercial break. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We're looking at Anambra State in focus as it inches towards its November 6th election, which is really just, at the weekend. Now, I was saying that we have our team in there too. Senior TVC News political correspondent Ayodele Zumbaku, he's up there as well. Good morning, Ayo. We able to speak now? Aha.
Good morning.
Yeah, great. So, first of all, how are you in terms of security? Because usually when you're up country like that, you're all over town showing us what's going on and reporting. It's a bit different this time.
Yuri, I'm restricted to my hotel room, and since I've been covering election, this is like the most difficult election I will be covering because of the security situation. The security situation when we got here yesterday, there was this palpable apprehension in the air, and everybody is so scared of the uncertainty. They don't know what will happen, even leading up to Saturday. Saturday is the main election, but what they are saying, there are a lot of information saying that there's this sit-at-home order by IPOP by Friday, that from Friday, nobody is meant to come out for 1 week. That's between on the 5th of November till 10th of November. Now, the problem they're having again is that in the last 3 months, perpetually, the people are ordered to sit at home. So we couldn't even go to the streets with our cameras today to even show the situation, the security situation, that this is the compulsory Monday sit at home. We were advised not to step out from our hotel rooms, and it's very, very difficult. We're trying to gather information. Our correspondent on ground, Mike Bamidele here, he has been trying to reach out to security agencies. We've been trying to reach out to INEC on the level of preparation. But one thing we know is that before we got here yesterday, there were military checkpoints, there were police checkpoints. We counted up to 50 just between Asaba down to Oka here, and they were checking the cars, vehicles in and out of the states. So because of the uncertainty for Saturday, but one thing I can assure you is that the vibe we're getting from the Independent National Electoral Commission is that they're saying come what Saturday that there's going to be governorship election in Anambra State. So whoever is going to succeed, Governor Willie Obiano, will emerge Saturday, Sunday of this week. How is the turnout going to be? Let me play with statistics a little bit. Now, the last election that was held in Anambra State, the overall percentage was 22%. Now, since 1999, during the regime of Chimoke Ubadinoju, Anambra State has never returned 35% of general vote cast or 35% of the number of registered voters. Anambra has not been a state that has been doing so well in terms of turnout for election. Now, the highest we've recorded since 1999 is the second time election that brought in Governor Peter Obi. Now, the second highest has been, that's the other one that brought in Willie Obiano with a little bit of 265,000, 266,000 votes. So what are we talking about here? That in 4 years ago, when the security situation wasn't as heightened and tensed like this, we had 22% voters turnout. Now, with the intimidation, with the uncertainty, with the security, around Anambra State, one thing is clear: it's going to affect the already voting, the apathy that we've been witnessing in Anambra State since 1999. So one thing that is going to happen, that I don't expect people to turn out more than that 22%, the one that happened 4 years ago. I don't see that happening. So we have 21 local governments. Yes, security agencies, they deployed 32,000 policemen, and I even gathered that the 2 Inspector General of Police, Deputy Inspector General of Police, DIG Operations and DIG Admin, they're going to be on ground here, and we're going to have Assistant Inspector General of Police, like 12 of them on ground. Commissioner of Police, we are going to have 18 on ground. I've never seen such arrangement before. 3 helicopters across the 3 senatorial district. But one thing is certain, because of this atmosphere, INEC might not get the regular turnout.
Well, and as you know, Ayo, the president has directed those concerned and in the know that nothing must stop the Anambra election. So it seems that just in line with the sentiment you've just expressed, that's where every right-thinking member is looking, member of society is looking that on Saturday that election will happen. Ayo, let me ask you your comment. You've told us how tense the whole place is. This is a first for you. I mean, there's Ayo Zozubakun of TVC News, cooped up in a hotel room on election week. It's never happened. We're going to be all over the place. We're going to be seeing what you are seeing. You're going to be showing us the lie of the ground. So what do you make of a video that you might have seen showing the showing uniformed men engaging in a firefight, and there seemed to be an embedded reporter, because the point of view of the cameraman or reporter clearly he had to be embedded. What do you make of that video?
Actually, the person that shot that video was definitely with the police escort, was going around with the convoy of the police, full police protection, and that happened, you know, it was just a crossfire within the police and the, I don't know, the unknown gunmen. That's how we we term them. And that video has actually, it has gone viral since the day before yesterday, and that has succeeded in even instilling fear in the minds of people all around. A lot of people want Saturday to come and go. That even if the turnout is abysmal for that governorship election, the parties involved is not left for them. So the candidates of the ABGA, the candidates of the People's Democratic Party, the candidate of the All Progressive Congress, the top runners, so to say, is to devise a means of mobilizing their people, their supporters, to go out to vote. One thing I know is that the state capitals, like a place like Oka, is going to be fortified. They are going to have a lot of security, but arrangements around Oka. But one thing, another thing is that these guys might be targeting soft targets, looking for places that you don't have more security presence. They can't, the military guys, the police guys, they can't be everywhere in 21 local governments. So a lot of people are so scared. So I expect that if there's going to be turnout at all, it might improve in a place like the state capital, that is the Oka, because of the heavy security presence in and out of Oka, the state capital.
Okay. Finally, Ayo, and thank you very much for giving us this real lie of the ground. If you are in there and all your colleagues are also taking cover, so to speak, then campaigning is not going. It's a safe guess to say that there's not much campaigning going on out there. It's too dangerous. No. It's too dangerous.
As of today, I can tell you the streets are deserted. Nobody has. Before now, I gathered before now that the people that have been campaigning, that it's as ridiculous that people have been taking their campaign to Asaba. That's the capital of Delta State, across River Niger, that some parties, they've been holding their campaign there. They've not been able to hold their campaign anywhere within
a campaign for Anambra election being held in neighboring Delta State.
Yes.
Such is people, the situation.
Yes, because people have not been able to mobilize, and if some people they feel that, look, since the security situation is so tense in Anambra State, they're taking their campaign across River Niger. That's Asaba.
Okay. Oh, it's I mean, it really is. It's a new one. We haven't seen this. I can't remember having seen this kind of thing before. Never mind in a long while. Thank you very much, Ayodele Zubaku. Stay safe, of course.
Thank you, Yoren.
So there you go. Senior TVC News political correspondent, Doctor. Now it sort of puts
getting a picture, getting a perspective.
Yes.
Now unfortunately for you and the crew, they go to Anambra on Sunday, and Monday has always been declared as a no-work day.
Yes.
Where were the bishops and the elders? Where are the political leaders in the state? And now if you look at what he said concerning the security that will be mobilized for that. It's just 21 local government. And I knew when some colleagues went for NUJ National Congress in Abia State, and when they came back and they were sharing their experience as regards the number of roadblocks they went to. Now the security situation in the state and the amount of roadblocks that you pass through to get, you can't reconcile the two.
Yeah.
You can't. Who is playing tricks on who? Or are people making money out of the misfortune they are creating for Nigerians? Because Ayo said they went through close, he counted 50. 50. Now if you could go to Anambra State, before you could get to Oka, you could go to 250. Those people that the army and the military engage, are they spirit? Did they come from heaven? Or did they just come from the winds? You see, until we begin to hold people account, 2 DIGs, 32,000 policemen, oh my goodness, for just an election in 21 local government. Okay, let's mobilize, there are 32,000. Let's mobilize 10,000 policemen to each of the local government. It's very simple. How many polling units do you have? No, 32,000 policemen.
Look at all the DIGs and
the DIGs, the 18 commissioner of police. So one commissioner of police to one local government, and then the remaining 2 IG to 2 other local government, and then you mobilize 10,000. That's 21,000. That means that you still have 11,000.
Well,
that will be stationed to mobilize to anywhere. So when they talk about the security issue, protecting lives and property, what are the security agencies? If the political class want to perpetuate their evil, we have security agencies to deal with this issue. That's my take on this. Otherwise, all of these things are about money. All of this thing is about money. Because how would you deploy? These 32,000 police will be given. I just don't know. These 32,000 policemen plus the DIGs will be mobilized for the election. State funds will be released. That's the police alone. What of the military? For heaven's sake.
Dr. Johnson, just for a second, the president has ordered that nothing like that must happen. That is to say, anything disturb the successful conduct of this election. Now, we've talked about it's likely, the numbers are likely to be low simply because of the terrorism, that is what ESN and IPOB are. So people might just not come out in spite of the show of force. Now, just, what is the word now? Intellectually speaking, what would be the result of not having that election?
The result of not having the election is automatically you have a situation whereby the Speaker of the House of Assembly becomes the acting governor.
After
the expiration of the tenure.
And that precipitates a different kind of a crisis.
Are you getting? After the expiration of the tenure of the sitting governor, the Speaker becomes the acting governor for a period of 6 months.
Well, we're trying to reorganize. And
but
another election.
But I think in the interest,
we mustn't get to that.
To that point, I think in the interest of the citizen and in the interest of the state, I think everyone in Anambra, the Anambrians, should go out and vote on that election. And they should appeal to the point. I've said it, Uncle.
Maybe it's easy for you and I to say that because they should we're removed from it, but
from the reality.
Yes, they are the people in the enclave, in that place, that have been obeying, and there's a whole psychological attitude. People have talked about brainwashing, indoctrination. One has to be careful. One doesn't want to use any derogatory term, but it's like you can talk from outside, but we live here.
But you have deployed 32,000 policemen.
Let me try Tony in the UK. Good morning, Tony. Thank you for calling in.
Yes. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question. If eventually the turnout in Anambra election is about 5 to 10%, would that be legitimate?
It's exactly about the legitimacy of the turnout. If the turnout is 10%, okay, would the election be legitimate? Well, in democracy, the number of people. The person is plurality. Is the person that gets the majority of vote cast not the majority of the
So I
voters.
guess, yes.
It's the majority of vote cast.
What Tony is asking is, must there be a threshold?
Yeah, for us to have legitimacy for the election.
Yes.
So he's saying, for example, if the turnout is 10%, would the result be legitimate? Of course, it's legitimate, even if it's 5%, even if it's 10%.
So
there's no threshold that you must be 50%. In some other climb, you must get to 50% of voters turnout for you to have the legitimacy of the election. And that's why some of us have argued that in actual sense, representative democracy is the perpetuation of minority rule based on the stupidity of the majority that refused to go out to vote on the day of the election. For example, in Nigeria, the total number of people that voted in the last election for the president was less than 16 million.
And what kind of
and then we have 85 million registered voters. What's the total number of people that voted for the governor of Ekiti State? It's not up to 300,000. Say for Osun State, just look at the figures and people that will run the affairs of the state. And that's why you see what the deputy governor insinuated with what Tony is saying to perpetuate voters apathy, because once they perpetuate that voters apathy, they can go ahead and cook the figures.
And just in case anybody is listening and watching and doesn't know the background, who are these people terrorizing the Southeast and ordering them, non-state actors ordering them? Among them, the reason for it we hear is that the detained leader of the proscribed IPOB, they say until he is released, there will be no election. And that's the kind of notion that you say, hang on, what were you talking about? That's not going to happen.
People tend to mix up issues with the Nnamdi Kanu is not an elected official of the state. Is not a politician. Is not contesting the election.
Yet
the election,
his members who are wreaking terror are insisting that he must be released.
The election that is taking place in Anambra is between ABGA, PDP, and APC and other parties, and they are contesting gubernatorial elections. Are you with me? So that's the issue. The Nnamdi case issue is a different ball game. That has to do with the state and Nnamdi Kanu, and that issue will be addressed by the court. The issue of the election should not be mixed up with releasing Nnamdi Kanu.
But that is precisely, incongruously, what they have done.
Well, that's why I've said that it's failure of leadership. The bishop are just coming now to say that the bishop listing condition for service. As far as I'm concerned,
that's a newspaper headline.
For Anambra people not to have an illegitimate government on their head, is for them to go out on the 6th to vote.
Indeed. And
there's an appeal to all political leaders, religious leaders, and the rest of them to appeal to they know the conscience of the people. To appeal to the conscience of the people that in the interest of the Southeast, in the interest of the common man, in the interest of the unborn and unburied child, the election on November 6th must take place. That's the only way we can build democracy and sustain public governance in Nigeria. Violence will not solve the problem. Even, Uncle Yori, let me close on this. No matter how long you go to war, you still come down to the negotiating table to negotiate for peace. So must we continue to war when you know that at the end of war you will still judge. So it's better for us to judge rather than for us to war. Let this election take place and choose your leaders. Prove to people that you can choose your leader by yourself.
We just hope that they listen to not just your voice, also the PFN Southwest. Ivy Kanu has reported on that in the recent past. It's just one of those problems. It's quite distressing, but it strikes me that the authorities are determined that whatever be the case, nothing will stop the election in Anambra State. So that we know who the governor is. INEC is ready. The security people are ready. Now, are the people themselves ready to come out and, make it happen?
Once we create the condition for them to come out,
they will.
They will surely come out. People love casting their votes.
Indeed. So there's plenty of time, in terms of persuading them. You might be wondering when I said plenty, but between Monday and Friday, there's a lot of time for people to be reassured that it's not a suicidal mission to come out and vote on Saturday and, as it were, take your state back. Take your political right back. Somebody is just saying, don't go out. And everybody is cowering. that's a problem. Anyway, on that worrisome note, we leave it hoping that we can get better news about Anambra as the days go on.
I'm hopeful that the election will take place.
Indeed.
And everything will. At the end of every storm,
there will be calm. There's
Yeah,
a calm.
I believe.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jide Johnson. Dr. Jide Johnson, Chief Lecturer at NIJ. Thank you for cutting into your tight schedule to be on our program.
It's a pleasure.
So that's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.